Hi everybody, Anthony here from Awesome Anthony Productions, and Spooktober is here, baby! Time to review some horror movies. Well, okay, I do that all year round. But this Spooktober, I want to do something that's a little different and a lot of fun. Introducing the horror movies that made me. Now, as much as I'd love to sit here and tell you that my favorite horror movie ever, The Exorcist, was my first horror experience, it's actually not true. The reality, the very first horror movie that I watched from beginning to end was a campy, stylish, sun-soaked vampire flick that still holds up today. Joel Schumacher's The Lost Boys. So let's set the scene. It's mid to late 2000s, I'm about 8 or 9 years old. I just finished around playing Sonic Adventure 2 on my GameCube, shout out to City Escape, and I wander into my living room to find my dad queued up on the couch. "Perfect timing, son," he says. "Come sit down, watch one of my favorite 80s movies with me." Now, watching a movie with my dad, that's an automatic yes. Even nowadays, him and I see a ton of horror movies together. So, I settle in, and suddenly I'm hearing Echo and the Bunnymen's cover of The Doors' People Are Strange, blasting over shots of a sunny California boardwalk. Tourists, roller coasters, sunlight, it's literally the visual representation of summer vacation. Little did little me know, he was about to get his first taste of horror. And honestly, I think it was the perfect way to ease me in, because The Lost Boys isn't complete nightmare fuel like Hereditary or The Exorcist. It's stylish, it's funny, it's a little scary, and it's just dripping with 80s sentiment. The kind of movie that lets an 8 or 9-year-old kid test the waters of horror without traumatizing them for life. Though, to be fair, some of the scenes from the action climax stuck with me for a while. So let's talk setup. Recently divorced Lucy, played by the always wholesome Diane Wiest, moves with her sons Michael, played by Jason Patric, and Sam, played by the late Corey Haim, to the fictional and very sunny Santa Carla, California, to live with Grandpa, one of the greatest eccentric old guys in horror movie history, played by Barnard Hughes. While wandering around the boardwalk, Michael falls for Star, played by Jamie Gertz, who's caught up in this punky vampire gang led by the absolute king of 80s cool, Kiefer Sutherland's David. And when Michael gets tricked into drinking blood,
it's blood.
Yeah, sure.
He starts turning into a vampire himself. That's when Sam decides to team up with the Frog Brothers, played by Corey Feldman and Jameson Newlander, self-proclaimed vampire hunters and basically the comic relief of this movie. Together, they try to figure out how to save Michael, kill the head vampire, and survive the night. Now, as a kid, I had no idea what I was in for when I sat down to watch this movie. But revisiting it now, this movie's awesome and seriously holds up. First off, the quotes. This movie is one giant one-liner machine.
My own brother, a goddamn shit-sucking vampire. Oh, you wait till Mom finds out, buddy.
Kill your brother. You'll feel better.
Death by stereo.
Holy shit! It's the Attack of Eddie Munster!
I mean, come on, iconic. Then there's the look of it. The lair, Grandpa's house, the boardwalk, everything feels lived in with so much character. You watch this movie and you want to hang out at most of the places that you go, even if half the population there wants to drain you dry. That didn't come out right. Moving on. The soundtrack, unbelievable. Perfect needle drops, synthy 80s vibes, and of course that haunting Cry Little Sister theme. That child's choir still gives me goosebumps. Also, Joel Schumacher deserves so much credit here. Yes, people love to clown on him for Batman and Robin and those awful bat nipples. Yeah, in Batman and Robin, the costumes have like nipple outlines and perfectly sculpted butt outlines too. Nice. Yeah. Yes, people love to clown on him for Batman and Robin's bat nipples, but this guy gave us St. Elmo's Fire, Falling Down, The Phantom of the Opera. He deserves some respect on his name. Now, was The Lost Boys scary? For 9-year-old me, abso-freaking-lutely. Watching David and his gang rip apart those campfire hippies, that scene haunted me a bit. But the movie balances the horror with humor so well that it left me curious and wanting more of the genre, not trying to run away from it. Really made me want to see what else is out there and dip my toes into more scarier stuff. And of course, you can't forget the awesome vampire action-filled climax, with holy water baths, death by stereo, impalings, all leading to that amazing ending. The big reveal of Edward Herrmann's Max, which I didn't even realize I would be experiencing a lot of later in life when I watched Gilmore Girls, with him being the true head vampire, Grandpa's truck crashing through the wall, and that legendary last line. One thing about living in Santa Carla I can never stomach.
All the damn vampires.
Absolute cinema. Beyond just the story and the characters, what really hooked me as a kid, and still hooks me now, is the style of The Lost Boys. Joel Schumacher knew exactly what he was doing visually. The movie has this sun-soaked California vibe during the day, which makes the night scenes feel even creepier by contrast. Plus, the cinematography really leaned into that 80s horror comedy energy, but it's never goofy. It's all done in a way that makes you feel the danger lurking underneath all the glitz and glamour. And the editing? Sharp enough to keep things moving, but patient enough to let you soak in either the humor or the creepiness, depending on the scene. The effects? The flying scenes, the vampire deaths, the contacts and prosthetic fangs, they all have that gritty, non-polished 80s charm, and it all holds up so well, so much more than if it was CGI. The tone of the movie is such a perfect starter horror blend too. Scary enough to get your heart racing, but never intense enough to disturb younger viewers. There's blood, there's tension, there's death and jump scares, but it's balanced out perfectly with humor, self-awareness, and one-liners that land perfectly. And all of it works together to pull you into this world without ever overwhelming you. And honestly, that's why it was such a perfect starter horror movie for a kid like me back then. It has the scares, the stakes, pun intended, the vampire mythology, but it's also a ton of fun. Looking back, The Lost Boys isn't just a film that I liked. It's a gateway, one that left me chasing bigger scares, creepier movies, and more cinematic thrills. It taught me that horror doesn't have to be necessarily traumatizing or disturbing to work, and that strong style, tone, and character can make even the cheesiest moments feel iconic. So yeah, that's why The Lost Boys is still one of my favorite horror movies to this day, and it will always have a special place in my Spooktober heart. And that's just the beginning, folks. The Lost Boys opened that door for me, but it definitely wasn't the end of the road. So over the next few weeks, in addition to my regular reviews, I'm gonna be taking you through the horror movies that shaped me, that made me the lifelong horror fan that I am today. Some of them scared me so badly I couldn't sleep afterwards, others thrilled me with style and storytelling I'd never seen before. So stick around, because next time we're stepping into a film that helped me realize that kids' movies can be pretty scary, just as much so as an R-rated piece of horror. If you want to check out my review of one battle after another, just click or tap on these cards right here, or you can go over to my channel where you can check out the rest of my reviews. Thanks for watching the first in this new mini series, and I will see you tomorrow for my review of The Strangers Chapter 2.